Well now, aren't you a curious sight? If I'd had a mask to hide my bones, where'd you get it? There can't be many curios like that in the world. Ha! Fresh out of the crypt, are you? No, we are... Or walk about like you still had flesh on your bones in your case. You even have yourself a silky mortal voice. So powerful that you've been overpowered by clowns in red capes and a glowing necklace. Still, you'd best keep that mask on. The living don't take kindly to seeing their future staring back at them.
You are you, but more. You look to your hands, your belly, your feet. Flesh you don't know, molded into unfamiliar. Your fingers trace a line from your head to your face, feeling not the creases of the mask, but the porous surface of new skin.
Ah, you're up. Yes. Looks like that collar fits you snugly enough. Nice. There. Not too tight, I hope. The collar, I mean. Oh, not to worry. Every dog has to get used to its leash. In the meantime, your next stop will be Magister William. All passengers, you'll find him on the other side of this deck, in the officers' quarters.
Good gods, there's been a murder here.
Behind the Magister, a bloodied mass lies in a heap. Gore and limbs lie at odd angles. You can't make out a face amid the...
There's been a murder. A sorcerer was killed by one of your own. Lucky you were busy getting your Waters is investigating. She'll figure out who did it. Always does. You surprised? You're one of them. You know what sorcerers are capable of? Whoever did this found a way around small ones this time. Thank the gods. We'll find out who did it, one way or another.
Ugly sight, it burns me up this happened under our protection. We're extremely lucky no Voidwalker followed the source that did this.
She looks up at you with a murder.
I was on duty in your room when the murder happened. You're one of the only indisputably innocent people on the ship. Unless you can commit murder in your sleep, of course. I thought as... Listen, I could use someone to keep their ears open among the passengers. Bring me a good lead, and I'll throw in a shiny gold coin for you. How about that? Not in here, it isn't. You let me know if you hear anything. Whoever did this...
Why won't you sing? Be good, you scallywags.
No marks. It was one of them. Indication.
They don't care about us. We're like cattle to them.
I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on.
I'm here because I'm magic.
One of us.
You look like my daddy. His name is Frida.
Do you know Losa? She's a
Ah, there you are. Husband, would you please tell this very charming gaggle of not at all brat-like babes that I am by no accounts this Losa woman, nor do I sing, in fact. I'm deathly, why, I never. I left my good pals at home, or I'd be clutching them with... Say as you will, husband. Madame Josephine Gribbles de Peeb won't be treated...
The children break out into...
What? What's so fun?
Her pinched face cracks into a great grin, and she shoos the...
Yeah, okay, you found me out. Go on and git, and maybe I'll sing you something.
She turns to you, dark up...
Gotta keep ourselves entertained, haven't we? Guess you aren't a creative type, are you, Chief? I say they're one and the same.
Suddenly, her eyes cloud to an unnatural black. Greyish veins run down her face. As quickly as they came, the clouds clear. She smiles.
Good luck, Chief.
You sure about that? They don't care about us.
No.
We're like cattle to them.
Name? I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying
The
on.
Divine Order wants to know.
They're picking us off one by one.
Not so fast. Name? Well, you aren't here on my list. Scram, eh? We're trying to catch a killer here. You think me mad?
Mad? No.
Rubbish.
Insufferable? Surely.
What are you trying to hear anyway?
I'll tell you if you can keep it quiet long enough for me to listen.
A scruffy man lounges against the wall with scarred arms folded. A sly smile playing on his face.
Watch your back, new fish. There's a murderer on board, and I'd bet 3
Rolling his eyes at the Magister's warning, the man named Ifan beckons again.
Seems to me you should be a little more...
That's it. Off you trot. Lest you want to end...
Till overboiling a bit of cabbage becomes a crime, I shall hold my head steady.
Never thought you'd end up a prison guard, Vic.
That right? I always knew you'd turn out rotten, Ben Mist. Your kind always hung closest to our divine, like wolves around a campfire.
Well, you've got this wolf on a leash now.
Soon as the Inquisitor gets here, we'll hand you right over the side of this ship with it.
Here to register, sir. Good, good. Matt, you faring okay so far?
Coming out of plague-stricken pigs.
There's nothing else I can make, Your Majesty.
He tugs the collar of his uniform.
Sorry you're upset, sir. But we all wear what we wear for... You head on in now. Williams will get you...
And I don't intend to do away with the custom.
Keep those bolts trained on us.
Standing at the center of the room, you spot a sorcerer haughtily eyeing a pair of nervous-looking magisters. They keep their crossbow trained upon her.
So you admit it then? You murdered that...
Yes, I did. But of course, that was only...
She turns her head and looks you straight...
There are others whose lives must end.
Good God! You there, sorcerer! Go and fetch Magister Siwan! We need to do more than collar this maniac. We need to shackle her, hands and feet.
No, I'm afraid I always perform my part.
She reaches for her collar and simply...
I'm just about to create...
Subdue her, men, quickly! If she can't source, the Voidwoken will...
She smiles with wicked...
Precisely.
My mask! She stole it. If these savages see me without it, they will have my skull for a goblet.
Not long before this thing snaps into splinters. Damn. That doesn't bode well. Onwards and upwards.
Thank the gods!
He eyes the collar circling your neck and reaches a hand towards his...
Another sorcerer!
The Magister's companion doesn't blink, frozen in place at the sight of you.
Even if I knew how to rip that thing off, I wouldn't. Some crazy banshee comes screaming.
He whispers loudly to the other Magister.
Don't just cower there, Rix. Take out your blade.
Rix grabs his sword, which shakes in the rhythm of his trembling hand.
Then the mutiny...
God damn it. I need to get off this wreck. Quick. Not long before this thing snaps into splinters. I need to get off. There's still a chance.
Shut your trap, kid. Children and dwarfs first, just like the old story.
The dwarf yanks at one of the nearby ropes to...
Said there were other people down there.
You see those tentacles, kid? It's time for getting the hell out of here.
But wait! There's still people down there!
You wonder briefly about the prospects of an undeath lived beneath the sea. You clench your eyes and break.
That was decidedly unpleasant. Am I the lone survivor? Depending on one's definition of survivor, of course. Ah, Brachus Rex. I've read his history. Quite gruesome, even for a human.
The child has a small mirror in his hands. He holds it up at angles, inspecting his eyes, his chin, the crown of his head.
I'm not supposed to talk to strangers.
The child considers your statement.
You're weird. Are you a sorcerer? One of those guys that brings the bad void things here?
The child screws up his face and looks at you hard.
I don't see any source on you or me. I guess they're wrong or crazy. Maybe you're right. At least they don't mind where anyone goes. They know we can't leave the island, and it's a lot nicer out here than outside.
Vain. Vain.
Bloody collars drowned and eaten by a void woken. I wonder in which order.
You spot a strange lizard gazing over the water with a steady, malcontent stare. His skin is of a bright blood-red color. Never before have you seen a lizard such as this. The lizard turns about with the graceful ease of a dancer, or a duelist. You lock eyes with him.
I suppose that's what passes for wit in your neck of the bog, I should think. But wait. I know you, don't I? Why, only a few hours ago, I saw you skulk about that ship like a lost child in search of its mother. But you weren't a lost child, were you? You weren't an innocent at all. Word has reached me, you see, through a very sour grapevine indeed, that you turned your back on your fellow passengers. So much easier, isn't it, to look out for oneself alone? Of course I did. Takes more than some oversized cuttlefish to get the better of me. Besides, you'll find I wasn't complaining, so if there's nothing further... out of the mouths of babes. A couple of children survived the ordeal with their... If you really must know, I haven't quite decided yet. I've a frightful...
He sighs.
Tell me, what do you see when you cast your glance over this ocean? Touché.
He looks out over the water once more, and so do you. A few tranquil moments pass as the...
As for myself, when I consider this vast expanse before us, I see continents dotted with mighty cities. And shimmering along the soft curve of the sea's horizon, I picture the palaces that formed my paradise. Lost. Yes, but these weren't castles in the sky, were they? Quite obviously, I was musing over the very actual empire that I lost.
Suddenly, having all the air of being deeply offended, he stares at you with utter incredulity.
Well, don't just stand there gawking like an ape at an abacus. Or do you really mean to tell me you don't know who I am? Oh, may the Seven have mercy. I am the Red... Of course you know.
There's a brief moment's pause, during which his grandiloquent pose deflates ever so slightly.
That said, I suppose I must own up to the fact that I find myself rather in between all-conquering and world. The grandeur that is my fate has hit a bit of a snag. But never you worry. For the throne I was destined, and my throne I shall have. Then by all means.
He watches you depart without another word, then
Ah, hello, small, furry creature. How do you do?
The cat's eyes are clouded and grey, but it stares at its eyes clear, and it shakes its head.
Loyal to the Order, but will not be of subverting our cause.
Atusa, please.
Your Godwoken has asked you a question. Answer him.
Need I repeat myself?
But I know nothing.
Stay back, sorcerer, and stay silent. Our Godwoken speak.
We know you've been helping sorcerers escape, Atusa. We have proof.
I'd sooner cut my tongue out than lie to you, Alexander. I know nothing of any escape.
If you can tell the Godwoken no more, your tongue is of no use.
This can't be serious, Alexander.
You should know by now to obey your superior, Magister, whatever she may ask.
Atusa pinches the tip of her tongue with 2 fingers and brings her dagger to its root. Her eyes...
Stop! My father, may his soul rest in peace, would be disappointed in you, Atusa. To think you would lie to his only son. The fate of our realm hangs in the balance. If you will not help us save it, then you will... Dallas?
Yes, Your Holiness.
I believe we're done here.
What a waste. Come, can be needed elsewhere.
Hush. Listen.
Where is he?
Come on then, Lexi. Hey up.
I find only bread. I want no trouble. This is not your business, long pig.
Don't let this moss muncher talk to you like that. Especially a cheapskate like this one. Griff.
An intense-looking man steps between the thug and the elf and rolls up his sleeves, revealing well-muscled and heavily scarred...
Just stand aside, won't you, mate? This is not...
Lone wolves decide their own...
The thug freezes in fear for a moment, before shuffling back to...
Pay up, elf. No one shorts Griff. Especially not one of you. That's right, isn't it, Legsy? Rules is rules. Break the order, and you lose your place. Now, come on, elf. If you make me say it again, there's gonna be trouble.
If you want her, you'll have to get...
If you don't want to pay me in coin, I'll take what you owe from your skin.
don't feel so
Newbies ought to know what happens to an elf who steps out alive.
Hey, I know you.
Losa, the dark-eyed jokester you met aboard the ship, waves enthusiastically and dips into a mock elegant curtsy.
Back then, I was Madame Josephine Gribbles de Pube. You. Nothing like a nice tentacle slap across the moor to set the tone for the week, eh? How'd you escape? Me too. Did you hear something? When you were in the water, I mean. Yeah, same. It's just... I thought maybe, you know, when you were down deep in the water.
Losa's voice catches in her throat. The joy drains from her face. She is stock still, waxy skinned, her eyes dark. Greyish black veins run from her eyes down her cheeks. Her head snaps to you mechanically, and her eyes lock with yours. Dark pupils dilated in light suddenly flashes back into her face. The grey veins drain to pinkish flesh, and...
Anyway, what were we talking about? Ah, it's nothing really. It's just... I'm just a bit... well, a bit... hospitable? Put it like this. You've never been a host, I bet. That's because you're an infested clump of leaves on the side of the road. That ain't bad, though. I'd give just about anything to be like you. But I'm a roadside inn. Red door, flowers out front. Like a goddamn Gold Star Inn for the disembodied.
She gives you a certain...
You seem pretty well adjusted. So, how are you enjoying the joy? Yeah? I was just... So, you want to check this place out together? And don't worry, by the by. I forgive you for leaving me to drown on that ship. Surprise! We could have. But a few of us made it out in any case. One of those kids... It hasn't stopped me from thinking it'd be a good idea to travel together. What do you say? Sure, whatever suits you. Probably better for you in the end anyway. I'm not always myself. Anyway.
The shrine depicts Lucy and the Divine, avatar of the...
Oh, I don't feel so good.
Amidst a crowd of screws, bolts, and scraps of metal, the woman is manipulating a...
And what you after?
Come again? You another friend of Niles? I told that Magister freak to get back to his little... Now get the hell out of my face!
The Magister stares at the ground, unaware of your presence. With a start, she looks up and realizes someone is standing right...
The Divine is dead. The Bishop is all we have left. There will be another Divine. They say Bishop Alexander is God-woken. I hope...
She pauses for several...
I do wish Alexander would ascend sooner rather than later. They say his powers are not developing as they should. They blame the Voidwoken. But we need his powers to develop so that he may banish the Void. It's quite the pickle. I put my faith in the Bishop. Reminds me of his father. I wish it every night. More than anything. Oh, yes. Only a week. But who didn't then? He was driving the Black Ring back.
Bad luck to let one of them cross the path. No good omen, I think.
Go on, keep...
What were you thinking, messing with Griff's roots anyhow? Ah, the Queen's beard. It looks like you lost a fight with a claw hammer. Reckon you're in need of something to heal yourself up, eh? Calling me unimpressed, you old brew. It's always the braggarts who cry the hardest when you stitch them up.
Instead of a potion, she hands you an empty bottle and a fat brown mushroom.
Not scared of a little elbow grease, are you? A fella ought to know how to put himself right. Go ahead and combine the mushroom with the... Once you've mastered the technique, you'll never need help from a crusty old quack like me again. Dane's as stubborn as an old steer. Says he don't believe in alchemy and won't accept a potion from me or anyone else. But Jack and Nip would rather die. Still, my job ain't to judge, but to heal. Or if that fails, to comfort. Seems that's all I can do for old Dane anymore. Business savvy? Don't be profane. This is people's health we're talking about. And I get by just fine in the meantime, thank you kindly.
Out my face, or I'll punch your lights out.
He smacks your hand away.
You're trying to kill me, ain't you? Get!
Is that thing eating corpses?
The creature heaves through lips gummed with human gore. It turns to you with great effort.
You. Quite lost. Careful, or they'll cross your wires. Now, a little query. Where grows the yarrow? Quickly now, for I haven't... You want to leave. You want to go. Tell me where the yarrow grows. Tell me now! Or shall I... Ugh! Where does the yarrow... I'm fading!
You there. You've just arrived, isn't that right? Are you quite alone? It's just, I've a proposition. Something very worth... In that case, listen up. You must think me mad to approach a stranger, but this camp is full of cowards and I'm running out of time. Fast. Too fast. What? You would be too if you'd been here as long as I have. In fact, you should be nervous if you're here at all. I know what they have planned for us. I've been here a long time. Longer than anyone else. People get taken sometimes. Some folks say I have a way out of here. It won't be easy, and Are you interested? Believe whatever you want. This may be your only chance at leaving this place. Attaboy. Who wouldn't? Finally, someone with a little sense around. The plan's simple, completely foolproof. I have a spell that I can use to teleport you right out of here. There's an artifact that you can use to teleport me out of this place. Then I can use my spell to free you in turn. This item, though, it's in quite an unfortunate location. It's found its way into a nest of crocodilians on a secluded beach nearby. Here, give me your map and I'll show you where to go. Get that artifact, and you and I are as good as free.
The woman is scrabbling at her throat, as though she can hardly breathe. The woman is scrabbling at her throat, as though she can hardly breathe.
Don't touch me. You're too close. This collar, this place, it's squeezing the life from me. Ugh! It won't budge. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I think it's...
I'll call court.
Looky here, mates. A fresh face. We love fresh face. Why don't you join us in a round of cards? First hands on the house. No problem, Freshie. In that case, enjoy your stay. But I'll be needing to collect your interment fee first, of course. I'm sure the Reds told you. No one gets along without paying the interment fee. So, let's make this easy. Empty your pocket. Well, you've heard of it now, ain't ya? Go on then, Freshie. Turn 'em out. We'll see about that, Fresh.